going to be crucial. Got to carry it up top, but not spin it back. Okay, that is exceptional stuff right there. I said 4 was looking good. How about that right there?
That shot hit by Rob Labritz. He joins us now, the PGA Director of Golf at Glen Arbor Golf Club in Bedford Hills, New York, and a member of the proud Met section of the PGA of America, just like me.
Yes, sir.
Bro, let's talk about that shot.
Life changer.
Yeah, you hit a drive, kind of went into the bunker, you pitched out. How far did you have there?
I had 95 yards, about 75% because we were at altitude a little bit. Hit a perfect little Vokey 52, one little hop into the hole.
Fantastic, right? Yeah, I can see him. Now let's spend some time. Have you practiced your high five? Because that was, I mean,
I've been catching a lot of golf.
No kidding, and rightly so.
So there's a story that goes with it.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Schmal was in there pretty close.
Yep.
So I was totally excited, but I also knew that if I, went too hard and too fast, my adrenaline would have gotten killed, and then I could have possibly went to the next tee. So I didn't want to have.
You didn't want to break an arm or an elbow or anything.
Well,
like
I wasn't at 3 inches off the ground, but halfway up.
No, that's exactly right. The kick made it look better, though. All right, listen, we got to talk about some wedges here. Obviously, you hit a great shot. You're a very good wedge player, and so many people, when they get to where they're hitting wedges, they struggle with controlling that distance and understanding 95 yards probably isn't a full wedge shot for you.
No.
Right, so let's just talk about how you control wedges. What are we doing when we're hitting these wedge shots?
Okay, well, I have 3 different types of wedges here. I like a 58, a 52, and a 46.
Okay.
Okay, so the 58's, my lob wedge around the green.
Yep.
My 48's more of a pitching wedge.
Yep.
And the 52's sort of like my mid-range wedge, which is the one I use to hold the shot out.
Gotcha.
So for me, it's all about controlling distances.
Yep.
I wasn't a good wedge player up until 3 or 4 years ago, and I knew that was the lacking part of my game.
Yep.
So I worked hard on really just kind of taking, believe it or not, taking a lot of wrist out of the shot. I feel like I control my distance a lot more by using my body rotation, a little bit of slide, and not so much flick of the hands. I don't ever want to feel hands.
Beautiful. All right, so let's.
So, when I really get into wedge shots, I really, coming into impact, if the shaft's leaning a little more, you're going to hit a lower shot. You're also going to take a little bit more of a divot.
Yep.
And the shaft is sort of up and down or even back a little bit, you're going to use the bounce a little more, and you're really not going to take a divot.
Okay.
I know out here, it's kind of wet, so I don't really want to have that shaft leaning too much. So as I take the club back, my lower body's pretty quiet, and then I just feel my body turn through.
And when you're talking about your body turning through, is there a specific part of the body? You chest, you belt buckle?
Starting with the ground. I like to feel my legs go first, and then I don't like to feel my hands work at all.
Okay, beautiful.
I feel like I'm connected to the club, and bam.
So you're feeling so when you get up to wherever it is that you stop your backswing, your first move is going to be a left leg, right leg, or is it just your lower body initiating?
I guess if I really broke it down, there's a little bit of slide with the left leg to get the weight over, and then the body turns out of the way. So
beautiful.
You set up to it again. Here I'll hit a little higher shot, so I'll put the ball a little forward, weaken the grip, and then I'll make that same non-wristy swing. It's going to take less of a divot because you're using more bounce, and you can see the ball goes higher.
Yeah, and actually that took like no divot whatsoever. I mean, it's just a kind of a glide along the. Now, for most people, you say to them, well, I want you to take the hands out of the swing. And they go, oh, okay, great. But they don't know how to take the hands out of the swing.
No.
So how do we take the hands out of the swing? Because we hear that shot all the time. I'm going to hit a dead-handed shot. How do we do that?
So, a lot of people don't even know they're using their hands. And it starts when they take club back.
Yep.
If they take club back and there's excessive hinge, okay, you can't just turn through because, you're not going to do it right. So what I like to feel is when they do that, is I like to kind of get in back of them, kind of push the club down so they feel what that feels like to take the club back. So almost like the hands and the club head are actually going back together rather than you trying to take the club head back first. So if I feel the hands and the club head go back together, I know that I'm eliminating wrist. I know how far I'm going to hit it just by how much I'm turning my body through. If I took the club back to here, okay, I'm going to hit it a certain distance, but if I added those wrists, I haven't changed my arm position at all, but the club went back a heck of a lot farther, so I'm going to hit a lot farther.
Yeah.
And I found under pressure, Brito, that, you don't want to have guessing games when you got to, get up and down to win a tournament or qualify for a PGA championship.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that, you know how far you're hitting it.
Well, and if you're inconsistent with the loft that's on the club as it comes through the strike, you obviously are going to get a different trajectory and you're going to get a different distance. distance.
Yes, and again, that comes from, again, overusing the hands.
Yep.
You know, so if the club goes back and you don't use a lot of wrist, and you use wrist coming down, all of a sudden the shaft's way backed up and the bottom of the arc is way back, so that's where you get those riders up the face.
Yep, or fat shots.
Or fat shots.
Yep.
All that stuff.
And it looks like, again, you know, we talk about tempo, but it looks like your tempo is very, very smooth. It doesn't look like it's a rushed motion whatsoever.
That's probably from my hands and the club going back together. Again, when I feel the club go back, I almost feel like it's one unit. And then when my body turns through, I know that as my body turns through, the arc of my swing is a little bit more forward of the ball. So I'm going to get that ball first on the bottom of that arc.
And do you have a drill that you give people that will help them improve their strike on the wedge, or how they can be more consistent with the strike?
Definitely. Two things. I'll do two things real quick. You got your club that lines up your target line, okay? Then you got your club that lines up where the ball is in your stance.
Yep.
Okay. I like to take 2 tees sometimes. The club usually works too.
Sure.
All right. Call this the little gate drill. And I'll put the ball right in the beginning, the middle of those tees. Takes a little bit to set up.
Yep.
You shouldn't hit so many golf balls anyway.
Yep.
So then when you hit that shot, you can see that if that arc, or that bottom of that arc, is in front of that golf ball.
Yeah, that's a great shot right there.
You're good to know. You're good to go.
So you're very consistent with that. Now, listen, I've been watching. Every time I see you, you're always dressed immaculately. Every
Thank
time.
you.
I mean,
I
just
appreciate that.
So talented.
Thanks to
But
Galvin Green.
now you got this thing hanging off of here. What do you got going on here?
So this is the shot link for everybody on the planet.
Yep.
Who isn't a tour player, called Game Golf. It's connected to your club. You tap it on here every time you hit a shot. When you walk to your ball the next time, you tap it again. It tells you exactly how far you're hitting each club. It's unbelievable.
So it's really good for your statistics and things like that.
That's what it does.
Britzy, thanks so much, man. It's always good to listen to you. You always have some wise things to share with us. I appreciate it. All right, when we come back, my final swing thought from Myrtle Beach and the 47th PGA Professional National Championship. Don't go anywhere.
The Golf Fix, brought to you by Grip Confidence, Grip Golf Pride. The Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X, there's a difference between a golf ball and the #1 ball in golf.